the sketchiest drive I've ever seen.
Building up a dream four-wheel drive is a rite of passage for any passionate four-wheel driver, and Sooty is no exception. This weapon of a four-wheel drive has never let me down, but the time comes when you've got to say goodbye.
Sooty! Ich liebe dich!
Right now we're back on the tracks where Sooty's journey began.
How much mud is coming out? It's insane.
But this trip might just prove to be one too many for this old rig.
Hold up, guys, hold up, we've lost you.
I've just had something happen that's never happened before, and I could have potentially catastrophically damaged the engine. I'm not sure yet. Get something nice and cold and enjoy this one, because this is proper balls to the wall action. For this adventure, we're pointing the rigs at some tough wheeling spots around the mid-north coast and revisiting the first tracks I ever drove in Sooty. It's a well-known fact that Jock hates driving his Hilux through mud. So, for this trip, he swapped the Luxie for Graham's D-Max and should be in for a blast in this tidy rig. Hey, Jocko, copy, mate?
I sure do, mate, and in a nice D-Max. It's so nice to be driving this vehicle again. I stole it off Graham for another trip. How good to be back on the mid-north coast, mate.
Certainly is, mate. Look, this one's a bit bittersweet for me. I'm super excited to be here, of course, but this is going to be Sooty's last trip in this form at least. I've started the build of the new one, mate, and this is its last hurrah out the tracks. Yep, after over 5 years of tough, relentless wheeling, Sooty is starting to look a little worse for wear. Busted panels, broken body mounts, little bit of rust and a few cracks where they don't belong. I reckon she might be ready to hang up a hat.
Joining us for this adventure is Pete from Ultimate 9, wheeling one of the more capable 3-litre patrols you'll see in this country. Next up is Tim from Mitts Alloy in his 79, who for this trip is joined by another legend from the Mitts team, Az, out for his first adventure with 4Drive 24/7.
Isaac joins us from Torquay, wheeling one good-looking 200 series. Closing out the convoy is another new face of the 4Drive 24/7 convoy, Tony from GME, steering an absolutely mint-looking 80 series complete with all the good fruit.
For our first track of the trip, we're heading to Possum Brush, where we're going to be hitting up a little number called Slipperies. And judging by conditions at the start of the track, we could be in for one heck of an adventure.
Righto, Tim. I reckon you do better, mate.
Yeah, I think so too. These springy boys, old Sparky strikes again.
Bit of left, right, good night, maybe, mate.
Left,
Hey?
right, good night.
Yeah, a bit of that when you come up.
Just drive up it. And go right back and get a little bit more momentum, I think. That's it.
That sounds so good.
Oh, stop it. Yes! It's the first bit of mud on the people and on the trucks. It's going to be a good day.
Mudslinger.
I have a feeling the big Torquay 200 might surprise us on this trip, and so far, Isaac is absolutely sending it.
Easy. Didn't even struggle. Didn't even need the noise. The cleanest 80 ever. Walks up. Was that like 500 RPM?
I reckon you're at about 20% there. That's all you needed to get through that.
Yeah, you're just gonna breathe on the throttle, mate.
It's just so good to have another 80 in the convoy, and you notice it's a bit of a strategy of mine to have you obviously the most capable vehicle in the front and the back of the convoy. It just keeps everyone safe and all the boys honest.
It's the bread that makes the sandwich, mate.
Slipperies is one of those tracks that just gets harder the further along it you get, and up ahead is a challenge that looks pretty darn gnarly, with a very suspicious looking bog hole at the start of it.
Mate, this bog hole looks pretty boggy. It looks like one of those ones. See how it's kind of shallow there? I feel like once you get a vehicle in there, it'll just go.
It will, it will. I think the next one's even worse.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to drive this one, but if you get this one wrong, you'll fall into the deep one.
Well, the good news is, mate, the first vehicle to go through is Sooty, and if there's one thing she loves, it's mud bogging. Oh, there's a firm bottom. I can ram the stick into the bottom and it's fine.
Well, Jock's giving it the tick of approval, but then again, he's not going first.
This is very exciting. Such a challenging little mud bog when it's been raining like it has been down here.
Go on, Soot. Show us how it's done, old girl. No! Straight in.
That was a little bit uneventful.
Yeah. It just kind of went in and just went, no.
Just sunk.
Smells a bit funky. Yeah, I don't think you're going anywhere.
Very stuck.
Yeah.
Yep, I just sunk in there like a stone through that mud, and there's no choice but to get on the run for.
Beautiful, out she comes.
Even once I clear this bog hole, things are going to be a little hectic, because right up ahead is an even deeper bog. Alright, here goes nothing.
Yeah, that's what I sort of thought. Oh.
There's nothing like a bit of fresh mud in the morning, hey?
Bog hole stinks.
Once again, it's out with the winch, but there's a lot of mud Sean is going to have to clear out on the way through. Slowly but surely, we're making progress, but Sooty is putting a huge amount of pressure on the winch as the chassis is being dragged through the mud. In times like these, it pays to reset the winch often to make sure you've always got the best angle to your anchor point, something we soon regret not doing.
If you go left hand down a bit.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Well, that's a bit of a rookie mistake for sure. Near the end of the winch rope, it was rubbing hard on the left side and trying to pull Sooty both forward and sideways at the same time, massively increasing the load pressure on the rope. That's why you should always use a safety blanket at the heaviest part of the winch equation. When you're pushing your gear as hard as we do, it's important to slow down and put your safety first.
So I've made a little bit of a mistake here of winching when I probably shouldn't have, because I was on a wrong angle. I should have taken the time to reset that winch. Unfortunately, broken the rope. Now that rope's done a lot of hard work. So what we're going to do, because it's right at the drum, it's really hard to get the end of the rope out and trying to join it with the other bit. So I'm going to cut a couple of rings of rope off so we can find the end, reattach it, and hopefully we'll get Sooty out of his bog hole.
For now, we're reattaching the rope using a bowline. This is never going to be as strong as an unbroken rope, but hopefully it'll be enough to get us through for now.
Let's have another winch, eh?
We're using the Snatch winch extension strap here, giving us enough length to reach a tree that will give us a much better winch angle. But the mud, well, it's just getting deeper.
How much mud is coming out? It's insane.
There's nothing like hindsight in a situation like this, and on reflection, this would have been a good point to switch to a double line pull.
Bugger!
Sooty is buried up to the chassis rails in mud now, and the rope is broken at the same point where we tied the first knot. This time, Jocko is the one checking on the knots, but with every break, that rope's becoming more and more compromised.
Just going to try and make it a little bit easier. Started to run out of options a little bit. If it breaks again, might be in strife. So just get some of this mud out, make it a bit easier. Oh, that's heartbreaking.
With the rope getting weaker with every break, it's time to look for a plan B. And Peter's soon up and to the rescue.
Well, I think forward might not be an option for two reasons. I think we might be able to, persist at a dig and get me up front. But once I'm up front with a broken winch rope, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to winch up here. So I might need somebody, i.e. Pete, with a winch up in front.
Big GU, yeah,
It's sort of here, can sneak around me. I think my best option is to go back because I've already dug a
you've cleared
trench
it.
this way.
So hopefully the pullback will be easy.
Hopefully. Team, you got a big job, mate. You got to pull a very, very bog Sooty backwards. I always like camping on tracks, though. I don't know about you, blokes. It's a great spot.
It's a good spot for swag.
It's a good spot for swags around here. Let's get moving, I reckon.
Right, let's do it.
Pete's the first one to tackle this hill out of the bog hole, but boy, it doesn't look easy.
So we're just watching Pete try and go up now, and he has made it nowhere, and his car is unbelievably capable. The sun is starting to dip. It's no good,
Going backwards is going to be a big ask, but the only saving grace is I've made it that far forward, so I'd like to feel that I push a lot of the mud forward, that backwards is going to be easier. That's the theory. I really need this to work though. Yeah, I'm good, Tim, whenever you are, mate.
All right, I'm on.
This is exciting, I'm moving.
Yeah, it's looking hot.
Wow, they're stuck and then there's this. Didn't think it was going to be this boggy. This is unreal. You can see up in front, no wonder why I wasn't going anywhere. It's like a vertical wall and my radius arm was like stuck under the mud, everything was stuck.
Oh, would you just look at that mud? There was no way this bog hole was ever going to let us through. But after a massive winch, the 80 is coming free.
Yeah, baby! Woohoo! It's insane! That's insane. Lovely!
It's been hours now since we first hit this bog hole, but at long last, we're back where we started. And Sean is out of trouble.
Yoo-hoo! Well done, mate. Thanks, Tim. That's a monumental effort. There's a lot of cars involved in that recovery, and wowzers.
Okay, time for my second attempt, and this time, I reckon I might opt for another line. I'm soon up on the main climb, but with that broken rope, I'm not going to be able to winch myself up. That's alright though, cause we've got another plan, and that's to hook Sooty up to Pete's GU with a snatch rope, and then Pete can winch both of us up the hill at once. It's a long, tough winch, but slowly and surely, with a fair few resets, we're making it to the top.
Oh dear. Just gonna have a drive. That gets you excited after a winch fest.
Look at that, Pete. Thanks for your help, mate.
For the rest of the convoy, it's a pretty similar experience, with this climb proving to be just a little bit too much of a challenge in the current conditions, and Jocko also has to opt for the winch.
It is my turn, and I will be needing this, the rumper.
Got to be a lot of noise and a lot of winching, I reckon. Spring hangers are no place for a track like this.
Just as we suspected, Tim can't pull any miracles out here and has to winch just like the rest of us. Needless to say, these are big, long winch runs, and there's plenty of work for the whole crew to drag the Forbies to the top.
That's a drive!
Woo, that thing sounds so good. What a weapon.
It's going to be one of the best sounding 79s I have ever heard.
She sounds so good, but the undercarriage is just too hung up in the mud, and it takes one last winch to get the big mitts rigged through.
If you ever find yourself driving muddy ruts like these ones, have a good look at the rut. If you get stuck, this will tell quite a story. You can see here, Tim's diff, there's been a few diffs, and Nissan diffs are on this side, the Toyota diffs are on this side. That's where they're hitting on the rut. But you'll see this one right here. This is a spring hanger. We talk about spring hangers getting stuck a fair bit, but that's obviously where the leaf spring is. Now they sit down quite low on the vehicle. Even though it's got 35s, this is usually the point that hits the dirt and stops the vehicle. Once you do that, you kill all your momentum, and that's how the vehicle gets stuck. That's why those coil sprung vehicles go probably a little bit better in places like this. And even the big IFS vehicles, they have a lot more clearance again. So in saying that, the big 200's up next. So hopefully you'll make this look easy. Keep on it.
Isaac's actually had a pretty good crack at this and got the 200 up as far as any of us, but once again, it's the winch to the rescue. Something tells me though that the 200 is going to surprise us, as we're going to give Isaac a crack at taking on the top half of the climb.
Oh, into it, into it, into it, into it. That's it, that's it. Drive it hard, drive it harder. Yeah, drive, drive, drive. Drive, 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 like you stole it. That's it.
Go,
like
go,
you
go,
stole
go,
it.
go, go, go!
And just look at that, he's absolutely nailed it.
Woo!
Get up, get up, get up, get up. Yeah,
What a weapon!
What a
Oh,
drive.
stop it!
What a drive. I bet you smile from ear to ear. I could see the white knuckles. He's all smiles.
what a beast. Tony's the last one to take on the climb, and the big 80 seems to really want it.
That's it. Oh, so close.
Very close.
This hill has really gotten the best of us, but we're a well-oiled recovery team at this point and soon have Tony's rig heading up the climb.
It's good to see another 80 series on the tracks. I always smile when I see that thing. They're so similar, Tony's truck and mine, that when we get to camp and it's dark, I might be accidentally pinching beers at the back of his fridge, not even knowing, because they look so similar.
Just like the 200 before him, Tony's able to send this one under his own steam from a fair way down the climb and puts in a killer drive to the top.
That's it, mate.
That's it. Up. Loves it.
Yeah, buddy! Yeah! Oh, he put those rear scrub bars to work. What a rig! Oh. Well, he gave it to her when she needed it. Let him eat, baby!
The day is all but done by the time we get onto the next section of track, and it turns out this track has a lot more in store for us. Pete's now leading the convoy and makes this little climb look like nothing, but Sooty can't quite do the same. Sean's giving it the berries, but he's slipped off his line and now he's going nowhere.
A bit of a weird spot now.
Yep, I've well and truly cooked this one. And now I'm half off the track and pretty much beached.
It's so nice to see the Nissan up the front. After all these trips.
Once again, it's Pete to the rescue as we line up to snatch Sooty to the top. But suddenly, things take a huge turn for the worse.
Yep, Sooty's done something that's never happened before and run on its own oil.
That's not good.
I had to stall it.
Yeah, that's good. Quick thinking though, man.
Hell, that was pretty scary. Old Sooty just started running on, which is a bit odd. I've never had a diesel do that. They call it oiling, where it's running on its own oil. I was lucky to be quite quick. I stalled it out. Run-on happens when oil starts to enter the air intake and it actually runs on its own oil. It revs out and you can't even turn the vehicle off, which can really quickly destroy a motor. First things first, we want to get Sooty onto level ground. But as I can't turn the engine on, a snatch is not going to be possible, and we're going to have to opt for using Pete's winch once again to drag both four-wheel drives up at once. For all we know, Sooty's engine could be absolutely lunched right now, and this could quite possibly be the end of my trip. But we won't know until I can get to the top.
got to say, in these sort of times, testing moments when you've got good mates on side, makes all the difference. Perfect, mate. Well, mate, I think I'll keep this this strap
Probably
attached
not
to
a
old
bad
Soot.
idea, mate.
I want
Let's
to have a bit of a look. Obviously, I've got oil everywhere, and I just want to make sure I can start the engine without trying to compress oil in my cylinders and potentially bending a conrod. That wouldn't be fun.
It would not be fun, mate. Well, we might have to see if we can try and turn the engine over by hand,
I
potentially.
think so.
We don't know for certain if there's oil in the cylinders, but the problem is to test that, we'd have to remove the glow plugs or the injectors and crank the vehicle over to get any excess oil out of the combustion chamber. It's quite a time-consuming job. Soon, we've come to a tough decision, and that's the fact we're probably just going to have to risk turning it over to find out.
Yeah, you should be able to.
All right. Well, this is where we stand at the moment. We're in two minds. The engine's already buggered, number one. Or number two, I'm about to bugger it by turning it on, but I'll know for sure it's buggered that way as well. The third option, which is unlikely but it might happen, is we're fine and I'll drive out of here and have a beer tonight at camp, and we'll be laughing about this around the campfire. We're going to shut the bonnet up now, give it a go. If it runs on again, I'll stall it, and that'll be the end of that. If it really knocks, we'll turn it off, and that'll be the end of that. If it idles like a little kitten, well,
Off we go.
off we go.
I'm taking a bit of a precaution here. Instead of turning the engine on straight away, I'm just bumping the key a few times to see if the engine will rotate. Just hopefully then it might move a little bit of oil without starting the engine. To me it seems like you might be in luck here. Alright, here goes nothing. That is unbelievable. Sooty is purring like a cranky, noisy kitten.
It's going to blow a little bit of smoke. From the bed.
It was knocking and running away, and Ned's just gone, yeah, I'm all right. Sooty! Ich liebe dich! Oh, Soot, you're just having a tanty.
Sooty's not done yet.
Yeah, come on, yeah!
Yeah, she's a little bit of a drama queen, isn't that?
He is.
And just like that, I'm back in the game. As expected, Jock gets his line pretty much perfect, but like me, the D-Max can't quite make the climb. And Tim is really going to have to give it the berries to make it through.
Perhaps a wee send is in order. Righto, chaps. Give it some jandle.
Tim's on the loud pedal, but it's a no-go.
I just crashed into the tree. I'm in a great spot to winch now.
Isaac and the Talker 200 have been quietly impressive all day, and he's about to put in a drive that'll put us all to shame.
You've got this. You've got it. Yes, you do. All the way, mate.
What a weapon!
So, Tim, that's how you drive it.
Yeah.
Did you watch?
With the light almost gone, it's Tony's turn. Hopefully he can put in a good effort for Team 80.
No, that was unlucky.
Yep, that's you. That's you. That's better. That's better.
It seems like this little bit of track is not for big rigs, and Tony's struggling a little bit just like I did.
Yeah, once you're on that side, it's very hard.
Yeah, I think she's pretty stuck.
As so often has the case been today, it's necessary to get the winch out again. But soon everyone is at the top and ready for an even bigger challenge around the corner.
With night well and truly fallen, we found ourselves on a challenge that looks like it could offer a world of hurt, with deep mud leading into a massive slippery climb.
We'll get a load of this one. Another bog hole about 50 metres up from the last, and it's obviously gotten dark now. I think if you drive this one, it'll be a short miracle, but
Mate, it's just and it gets real deep and off camber before the exit of the bog hole up there, and straight up some slippery ruts.
and they're big ruts as well.
This is gonna be
There's going to be
wild.
winches out. We're going to be here for a while. Why don't we get in? Get Pete. He's up front now. that stinks.
Hang on, don't I get another go or?
You can have another go. To reverse, it's minus 30 points, mate.
That'll do it, boys.
These bog holes have been absolutely relentless, and right up on the exit climb is not looking any easier. There's no option here but to winch Pete's rig all the way to the top, which takes several winch resets and a whole lot of hard yakka. Sean is really going to struggle with that damaged winch rope, but luckily, a regular guardian angel has come out to the tracks to help him out.
Well, talk about a bit of a change of luck. This is Zach. Zach's from Mitts. Now, we made the call before if you could bring a winch rope up. Now, you just jumped to the opportunity, you come straight out in the bush, you got a patrol all built up and delivered a winch rope out in the bush, mate. Big thank you.
That's too easy.
And look, folks, if you do bring up Mitts, chances are you will be speaking to Zach. Zach lives and breathes this lifestyle. And mate, you are the new hero of the night. You just give me a winch rope and something tells me I might need it, eh?
I may have my winch rope back out, but old Sooty's really showing its age. And now my left headlights have stopped working. I'm opting for a slightly different line here to see if I can make it a little further than Pete. It's a tad risky, but hopefully it pays off.
Oh, wow, he wasn't kidding. Hey, buddy! If in doubt, power out.
Yeah, it's the same spot though.
Yeah, you got to the same spot really, so you can basically just do whatever you want here and get through.
You're always going to just end up here.
That was well driven, mate.
good spot.
The run mirror is out and soon working in earnest as I skull drag Sooty up this huge climb. As usual, the cameras don't really do this effort justice, but it's a huge task for the whole crew to get the 80 up to the top. New South Wales might be renowned for its muddy tracks, but this stuff really is next level. It's already well past 10 PM by the time our third vehicle lines up for the challenge. Jock's done a great drive and gotten the D-Max a fair way through the bog hole. Pretty impressive given its low clearance and smaller tyres.
Making winching easier is all about the right angles. And now we've got the perfect anchor point available in Old Soot.
So we've anchored Soot to a tree at the top of the hill here, and then we've run down an extension, and we're going to get a straight line pull on the D-Max with Big Jockey Boy in there. So as is just hooking it all up to the snatch gear and away we go.
One of my favourite things about the snatch recovery bag is the addition of a strap to stop the bag from sliding down the rope. Perfect for winching on steep angles, and Jock is soon inching his way to the top with a nice safe winch. A few resets later and the D-Max is up and out.
Well, it's getting wild. It's 20 to 11. We've got about half the convoy through. Still got a little bit more to go.
Godspeed, baby.
The Big 79 has been using that winch in anger all day, and the track is not getting easier with each passing vehicle. But now there's a new problem, and it looks like Tim's second battery is running out of juice. Winching takes a lot of power and can drain a battery pretty quickly. We're just hopeful at this point of the night that the problem isn't the alternator. The first option is to just see if the battery has enough power left to get Tim to the top, but it seems the track has other ideas.
You know that 14 winch attempts you had down to that last bog hole?
Yeah.
That wouldn't have helped right
If you didn't
now.
cook it down there, you'd be sweet right now. You at least have one more touch me.
What I'll
What do you
do...
need enemies for when you got mates like you?
Yeah, exactly.
What I'm about to do though is I'm going to go get the battery out of Soot. We'll go put it in here. You can have a go on that one.
We've had to use this trick a few times before down in Tassie, and that's to swap batteries out with a donor vehicle and charge the dead battery in another rig. We've soon got the new battery in, and the 79 now has enough juice to struggle to the top.
It's after midnight by the time the 200 hits the bog hole and Isaac puts in another great drive.
That's enough! Mud bogger!
Can't see.
The Toolkit rig is looking a little less than showroom spec after that effort, although in my books, the new paint job is pretty sweet.
Probably a good thing you put that sealed alternator in, I reckon.
Yep, the guys at Talkit went to the effort of sourcing a sealed alternator for the 200, which are prone to alternator failures from factory given the low position of the unit, just like the 79s. And just like that, Isaac is up and out.
I've never seen a camel sandy taupe coloured 200 series before, mate, and looks like an absolute darling.
All right, Tony, send it home, mate.
Whoa! Hey! Yeah!
Tony has very nearly made it up and out, but Slippery's is not letting us off easy.
1 HD power. That's what that is.
We're soon set up for what we hope is our last winch of the night, with the clock well past 1 in the AM. We're just stoked to have all the rigs through.
Yeah, boy! Capital C! Yeah!
Well done, Tones.
All right, boys, what do you say
Righto.
we head up there and find a flat spot, eh?
Noodles.
Noodles? Yum!
2-minute noodles and a cold
Yum.
beer. Yes, never sounded so good.
What was supposed to be a little taster to the tracks has turned out to an epic run, and now we're grateful to find just a bit of flat ground near the top of the track to roll out some canvas. Trips like this rarely go to plan, but you know what? Those are the best kind of adventures, and soon enough, an exhausted convoy is rolling out some pretty basic setups and tucking into some 2-minute noodles that never tasted better. And you guessed it, there's plenty more action to come.
Our number one goal with the Snatch Recovery Kit was to develop the best kit on the market at the most affordable price, and I believe we've done that. The main thing you'll notice about this kit, it contains everything you need and nothing you don't. Many companies put things like gloves, cheap shovels into their recovery kit with huge markups. The fact is you don't really need them for most recoveries, especially when you're using synthetic ropes. Inside our kit, you're going to find 2 of these soft shackles. Now, they're a little bit more expensive to make than the traditional shackles, but in my opinion, they're a must-have bit of the kit because they're super safe and also lightweight. Another thing, you'll notice that it comes with a winch ring. Now, these can be sold for up to $200 on their own. We think that they're a must-have. If you want to change the direction of the pull or you want a double line pull because you're really stuck, you're going to need one of these. So, if you're after the ultimate recovery kit, in my opinion, you can get it right now at fourwheeldrive247.com.
This morning we can clearly see the carnage of yesterday's wheeling, and I reckon the rigs have enough mud on them to last a lifetime.
It's embarrassing to say, mate. I left my window down, went through a bog hole. Of course, I've just sprayed the dash, so I just thought I'd treat myself, give it a bit of a clean up. That's the worst thing I need to do this morning. It's not bad, eh?
It was a late one last night, and there's a few bleary eyes this morning. But everyone had better get some coffee into them because we've got another big day ahead.
Well, you know you had a good night run when the best spot to camp is just on the side of the track. It's not the prettiest campsite in the world, but it'll do. Early start again this morning because we're going to hit some more tracks. Boys are just getting packed up now. And we'll head into the bush over there and have a bit of fun.
Our plan for the trip is to make our way towards the tracks of Bulahdelah, where it took Sooty wheeling on its first off-road adventure over 5 years ago. But first, we've got a bit more exploring to do around Possum Brush, and a specky camp spot planned later in the day. If the boys behave, there might even be a Chef Wales special on the cards to boot.
First though, the Mitts boys have got to see what they can do about that battery situation.
So we are about to leave camp, and I found that my alternator may not be working as well after last night's big pull. I was a bit sketchy on it because we had to do a battery swap on the hill. This is my trick for washing dishes, so saves good water. I'm going to spray some of that in the alternator and hopefully it'll just start to get the gunk out of it. It's literally 12 hours old, that alternator, and a sealed one is on order, that's for sure.
When it comes to mud driving, alternators are always one of the first things to go. But it's a good tip to try and flush some of the mud out of the alternator before resorting to changing it, to see if you can get it to just hang on a little bit longer.
Righto.
Another big day.
I know.
As dirty and muddy as Sooty is, she's running like an absolute dream. She's purring like a kitten. And today we're going to go hit some hard tracks out again. I can't wait to get into this one. It's going to be a fun old day. Yep, there's a few walking wounded today, but we're still in the game.
Our track for today is a little hidden gem out the back of Possum Brush, known locally as a fence line track. These parts of the country don't see a lot of traffic, and conditions change hugely from year to year. In fact, even finding the track can be a huge challenge, as tracks can get overgrown or a fire can pass through, which is why I like to use the VMS to pin tracks as we drive them and save them for later use. The VMS comes of course with a full suite of off-road maps that work offline with no reception, but you can also log and load personal tracks and routes, and that means you'll never forget a wheeling spot again. And sure enough, fence line is up ahead.
The fence line track is short, sharp and hectic, with huge ruts and a chalky rock base that'll see you scrubbling for traction.
Oh, yep. It hasn't changed much, Jocko. Big ruts, rocks and steep. Oh, that's actually got harder, if anything.
Yeah, I think it's a bit more washed out than last time. Well, the good news is I'll be able to see how you go through it and make a decision from there.
All right, there's two distinct lines here. I'm gonna go for the challenging line. Doesn't look that bad, but I've got a feeling once I get up there, it's gonna look a lot worse.
That's it, mate. Ride that wall. Beautiful. Smidge your right, mate, just a little bit. That's it. Beautiful.
That's how we do that.
Beautiful.
Tell you what, Sooty is a veteran in this neck of the woods. The old D-Max is a little different to Jocko's usual weapon of choice, but the boy knows how to steer, and he's right up on the perfect entry line.
Well done, Jocko. Well done, mate. You've done this before, I take it. That's your line too. Perfect. Perfect. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Go, go, go. Oh.
So close.
It was.
I really thought I had that one, but the ground here is pretty slippery and I can't quite get the momentum to bump over.
I've got to be honest, and I said it to Jocko just before, it's one of the better drives I've seen, and to take a vehicle like this on a track like that, I'm twin locked at 35s with a stack of flex. Sooty's built for that sort of stuff. This is a family tourer with one factory locker in it and 31-inch tyres. So for it to come this far and almost drive it and just be caught with a little bit of clearance, I mean, is a remarkable effort.
A quick winch with a couple of treads to help smooth the way and the D-Max is up and out.
Hooray! Well, we've left the treads in here for Pete, but somehow I don't think he's gonna need them. But at least they're there for extra traction if he needs it. I reckon he's probably dampened his throttle down a fair bit here, maybe economy mode to get through here, just nice, easy throttle. It'd be perfect for this, I reckon. That's it, mate. Look how controlled he is. Okay. Ollie. Ride that clutch, baby. Well done, mate. Well, he used the treads after all. That's lucky we left him there. Well, mate, if there's one vehicle that's going to lift a spectacular wheel, it's a big 79. I reckon, careful wheel placement, he should be all right.
I think so, with two lockers, mate, even with a big wheel in the air, he'll still drive this.
Yeah, just constant momentum, nice and smooth and slow.
Nice one, well done. Good line. Not good line, not good line. Bad line. It was going good until it wasn't.
Where am I going?
Keep going, I think you'll be fine. If not, we'll reverse you out, you'll be right.
79s aren't the flexiest of rigs, and now that Tim's got his passenger tyre in the rut, the angles are looking pretty sketchy.
It's a vinegary stroke, eh?
Come a bit of right hand down, Tim. Just come forward. I just want to see what she does when you steer towards us.
So you get on
No, it's going to drop down there, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, smidge left now, mate.
In these moments, you really just have to trust your spotter. And luckily, Jock's got a plan to get the big rig through.
Smidge your right, mate. Smidge your right. Smidge your right. Right. That's it. That's it. Now left. Left. That's it, drive through it. Now go. Beautiful!
The sketchiest drive I've ever seen.
I love that. That's awesome. So good. Jeez, the boys are good. They just spot you through when you're not feeling super confident, man. My heart.
The next vehicle up this one is the Talker 200.
That's it, mate. Smidge you right. Smidge you right.
Yeah.
That's it, mate.
To me,
A little bit more right. A little bit more.
200s are a big vehicle, but in this case, it's worked to Isaac's advantage. And he's able to straddle that rut and put the vehicle on a perfect line.
Give it a bit, give it a bit, give it a bit, give it a bit. That's it.
Beautiful.
There we are.
Straight
There we are.
through. Treads earned their money today.
With a bit of spotting, Tony's got the line dialed in as well and makes this one look like a walk in the park.
Higher on the bank,
Bit higher on the bank. Bit higher on the bank. Bit higher on the bank. Yeah, bit higher on the bank.
Well done, mate. Easy. Too easy.
It's like it's nothing. That's 80 series life for you.
Up ahead is the main climber fence line, and it's about here that things can get a little spicy.
What you'll notice about this track, there's just heaps of big boulders and loose rocks. It means that traction's really hard. You want to get those tyres down nice and low. And you need a good aggressive tyre that's going to grip, and these Goodyears work really well on the rocks. They work good in all off-road terrains, but I find on rocks they really come into their own. There's just so much grip that I don't even have my lockers on, and I'm just crawling up here. Sooty's going to make this one look pretty easy. Oh, I said that, just I nearly got hung up. Oh, look at that. Bit of power, that's the only thing that got me through there. Bit of right foot. That's hard on the vehicles. Those with less clearance, oh, they're going to struggle a bit.
As expected, Pete's doing this one with a fair amount of control and frankly, just breezes on up.
Up next, mate. Let's try not to get stuck.
This climb really is pretty hectic in the upper sections, and Tim is having his work cut out to make it through. Soon, he's in a bit of trouble.
Go. I think I just broke a CV.
Yeah, it didn't sound good.
So yeah, we've just turned off one of the hubs just to see what happened, and clicking stopped, so we think it might just be a hub, which is good. Tones has got a spare one, but what we're going to do is turn Pete around at the top of the hill, run his big long winch out.
The hubs on the 79 have given Tim a bit of grief recently, but we're best to diagnose this one at the top.
The worst thing about all of this is my alternator is not working right now because of some mud bogging, so I'm going to run out of battery pretty quick, so hopefully Pete can just drag me to the top. Gotta love it, don't you?
Yeah, we'll get you out of it, mate.
Yeah.
Yep, sometimes when it rains it pours, but with the Ultimate 9 rig secured up the top, we should soon have Tim out of trouble.
A bit of rope row is always a good idea if there's a possibility of cable rub, and in this case a tarp does the job perfectly.
This has worked out even better than we could have hoped for, and the 79 is sailing up to the top. No alternator, no problem. You've just got to keep a Pete with you.
Big winch. Got there in the end though. I love this car. I have a real affection for it, but it's testing my patience every trip.
With the 79 up the top, we can take a better look at the breakage, and the jury's out to what the problem is.
It'll be concerning when you get that metal on metal noise from the front end. Now we're hoping it's a hub. If it is a hub, we've got spares, we can hopefully get it back in order. So really easy to find out as well. You can just pull that top cap off, don't even need to take the tyre off.
easily broken. This is the bit we actually hope it's broken.
Yeah, it's broken.
Yep, it's good news. Tim's just saying that it is actually broken, that engagement gear. So we'll just take the hub off, fix it, and you'll have this probably fixed before the other boys even get to the top of the hill.
Tim's just recently broke the hub on the other side of the vehicle, and he's already used his spare, which could make this little repair a bit more tricky.
Everything. That's a bigger break than last time.
While we're figuring out the fix, the rest of the convoy is making its way up, and the 200 is doing it in style.
Come on, big girl. Big girl. Keep up that pace.
The GME 80 is built for tough wheeling, and just like that, Tony monsters his way up to the top with zero hassles. Even better, he's got a part that might just help the 79.
Big Tones has got an 80 series hub, so we know the internals are the same, but we're not too sure if the externals will fit. So we're just going to see if not, we'll rebuild the old housing with all the new internals out of this. And I owe you beers.
Yep, a couple of beers and a hub, and we're good to go.
Okay, all right. Thank you. What a G.
Unfortunately, it's close but no cigar. The donor hub is just not going to quite work for this one because 79 and 80 series freewheeling hubs are slightly different.
That's just annoyingly different, isn't it?
Yeah.
So close yet so far.
Town's not far away. We're going into camp now anyway, so we'll duck back. I'll slap it all back together as a freewheeling hub. It'll drive perfect, and we'll pick up a part first thing in the morning and boogie on.
Away we go.
After a pretty basic last-minute campsite last night, what I reckon we need now is to roll into a nice camp and set up a bit early, and I've got just the place out the back of Watton. This awesome little spot is actually a horse farm by the name Watton Arab Stud that offers you casual camping on their property and a pretty idyllic spot to roll out some canvas. There's even a dam to swim in case you want to wash off a bit of that track dust.
Tell you what, after the last couple of days of wheeling, first thing I'm going to do when I get to camp, crack the top off one of these and just take a second to take it all in. The sun is out, we're not at midnight, I'm not in a bog hole. I've got a cold beer in my hand. Tell you what, how things turn around, eh?
Pretty soon, everyone's getting set up for the night and, of course, gearing up for the highlight of any 4-drive 24/7 trip, Shauno's cooking.
Pretty excited running Graham's D-Max. He's chucked one of these Drifter Stockton 270 awnings on. I've never actually set one up before, so let's have a go. Straps. 4 dogs. Oh, let's put that out. Oh, wow. That's sick. I'll just hook him in. Oh, and then there's this little Look at that.
Get out of town,
How
mate.
cool is this? I've never set one of these up before.
You know what? I've actually ordered one for my 200.
Really? I can see why.
I've been waiting for these to come out for a long time. These are the brand new ones from Drifter, aren't they?
Yeah, they don't have legs either, so like you can just tie it down there to keep rain off and stuff, and that's mint.
This is cool.
Well, I'm going to put my swag under here nicely, get my fridge out, get the table out. Oh, I could get
good's
used to
this?
this super touring life. It's pretty
I
good,
know.
isn't it?
All right, I'm gonna get another coldie, mate. I might even go for a bit of a wash because
Yeah, there's a dam down there.
there's a
Maybe
dam
we'll go
down
for a
there.
quick
I'm pretty
swim.
gross, and I want to be cooking up something pretty mean tonight.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited. Well, let's go for a swim.
probably need to stretch this one out, mate. It's going to take a fair
We can do
bit of work.
aqua aerobics if you want.
Well, I don't know about that.
Ah, how good, hey? Not a bad way to finish a day. We really rate this campsite, but you know what? We'd like to hear about your favourite spot. Let us know in the comments below and maybe we'll come check it out.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, big fellas.
Cheers, boys.
Yep. What a day, eh? What a day. What a couple of days.
Unreal couple of days.
I think right now, I'm going to cook up a meal. No, one for the ages, because I can't just... I feel like I've just let the team down a couple of times lately.
I'm not going to lie, I love your camp cooking, but the last couple...
I slipped up a little bit. Tonight is a bit of a redemption.
Yeah.
You might need to come up, mate, because tonight it's going to get a little out of hand, I can feel.
Bring it on, mate. Let's do it, eh?
Well, how good's this? I mean, we've been driving tough tracks for a couple of days now. Last night we got into camp so late we had 2-minute noodles at about, I think it was close to about 12:40, 1 o'clock in the morning. It was a big, big night, lots of winching, lots of driving. And I thought tonight I'm gonna go all out. I was gonna do fajitas, so Mexican. The boys love Mexican, so I thought, you know what? I've got just the recipe in mind.
Oh, mate, it's time for some yummy food.
How much meat do you want? Because I got it all.
So what are we doing, steaks, are we?
Yeah. Well, no, we're not. We're doing Mexican, mate. It's really easy these days. You got the little mixes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's everything you need.
I'm going to do a couple of little things that'll just make that a little bit better. I want small little fillets of steak, mate.
Yeah, so like
Yeah, cut the fat off. I'm going to do what Jocko cuts that up. Couple of Ziploc bags. Jocko, you're going to have to sit down when I tell you this, mate, because this is going to change the way you cook meat from now on.
Yeah.
When you're doing stir fries and things like that, I want to show you a process called velveting.
Velveting.
Yeah, it's like what a deer goes through when it comes through to being a buck and it gets all the antlers going on.
I thought that was called puberty.
Well, some people aren't through that yet, but...
Not me. I only hit it a week ago.
But velveting steak is a process to make any cut of meat so much more tender.
Okay.
And just chuck them straight in there, mate.
Yep.
We've got a few steaks on the go, don't we?
Yeah, well, I mean, you never could have enough meat in your hands. Well, mate, we've got a big old meat sack now.
Exactly right, mate. And look, who doesn't love a good old meat sack? There's bicarb soda sitting on the table here. So what you want to do is about a teaspoon for every about 250 grams of steak.
Do you know how many steaks we've put in there? That's at least a kilo.
2.5 kilos. So what's the quick maths on that?
Oh, yeah, what?
About this much.
Yeah, about that much.
I'm just basically coating the steak. So I'm going to get that, I'm going to seal it off, and I'm going to put it in the micromen. Now, the more budget cut your meat, so the more tough the meat is, the longer you want to keep that sort of tenderising. This is rump, and I got it on special. The way I was cutting it, it actually feels quite tender.
Didn't feel too bad,
so I'm going to go about 20 minutes. And while I'm in there, mate, couple of
calorie boys.
Couple of capsicums.
Yum.
Just cut away from yourself, Jocko.
Hey, always. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Also, don't put dishwashing liquid into your dishwasher.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever done that?
No, I've never done that.
That's one of those things that you only ever do once.
It's been about sort of 20 minutes. We're just been mucking around, having a few beers, obviously, while we do this. What I'm about to say next will probably blow your mind because you're thinking, Shaun, you're actually going to ruin this meal. I've actually got a bit of water in here. So we need to wash the bicarb soda off. We're going to wet the meat, Jocko.
Yeah, I'm thinking, you know, you're going to cook in with bicarb soda, add a bit of this, bit of that, or washing the steak.
This goes against just about everything you ever learned in chef school.
So what I'm doing is I'm pouring the sack into your bowl.
And I'm going to just...
That's a lot of meat.
There's a lot of meat there.
That's so red in there.
What's happened to that? That's supposed to be like that.
Is it?
Yeah, it goes really red.
I don't know anything, so like I'm just trusting your judgment here.
Now we need to dry the steak off. If you can get some paper towel out there, shake some of that, some of the moisture off. Give it a dry. And you know what? My mum taught me this.
What, tender meat? I thought you would have taught that yourself, tenderising your own meat.
I've tenderised enough meat in my time, Jocko.
I have too, mate.
I just find this is a more efficient way of doing it.
Yeah, there's plenty of ways you can do it.
Well, you don't bruise the meat this way.
Yeah, it's good when you have a mate to help you.
We've got the bicarb sort of off, and what you'll notice, when it starts cooking as well, it's going to start spitting and carrying on.
Okay.
You're going to think, what's going on here?
Yeah.
That's the bicarb doing its thing. It's tenderising that meat.
Yep.
Let me start this one up. Slippery hands.
Oh, you bastard. I'm going to put all the fajita mix into here.
Yeah, do that. Knead that through. Okay, put it all in. Sometimes you do it bit by bit, but tonight we're just going all in.
Send it.
Yeah.
I think we need to stir that.
Yeah, I think we need to, because
Mate, it's all going on. I can smell that burning from
there's a lot going on. I don't know if I can stir this fast enough, to be honest with you.
Oh, perfect. Hey, mate.
Hello, rabbit doll. Yeah, let me stir this.
You stir that
it's
because
a bit hot in the kitchen.
You need to keep that going. There's a lot of
hand.
Jocko chopping those chilies up. I'm going to start just putting fistfuls of this in.
Shove it in. Timmy, you'll like this fresh veg, mate. It's from Harris Farm.
I'm just going to grab that. Don't chop them.
Yeah, I'll try not to give you a little chop. Yeah, they are soft, mate. They're tender. I moisturise them with mud and winch rope. Yeah.
Look at that. You start putting the onion and the capsicum, the chili. It's all starting to come together.
I've stirred enough pot, boys. I'm out.
You are. He does 2 minutes of hard work and he goes and has that. Mate, oh, come on.
My tennis elbows.
It's actually looking
It's
really
called
good.
Tim the fair weather sailor. You go,
Tim,
mate. Yeah,
have a go with that. Look at that. No, it looks pretty good.
That looks real good.
I've got a whole bunch
Oh,
of
you've got plenty. Oh, watch this.
Queensland's finest, mate.
You've always put a deposit on a house in Sydney with all these avocados, mate.
Nearly forgot these
I
bad
was
boys,
going to
mate.
ask. That was going to be my yum.
You know that one? I'm going to do one in mine. You're really squeezing this.
I like limes. There's a couple of big bits in there. I think one of the avos in there.
You just got to have a little bit more force about your forearm, Jocko.
Yeah. Well, let me use my right hand then. I'll use my left hand. You're going to heat up the fajitas.
Exactly right. So get a couple of tortillas, I think they're called.
Tortillas.
Bit of oil hot in the pan. I've got a couple on the go here.
Yeah. Do you reckon we get the boys in to have a little
I reckon so. That one's ready.
Hey boys, dinner time. You got a little bit of guac. Hang on, let me serve up a little.
Hang on. Before we get too excited, you can't do fajitas without a bit of sour cream, mate. Put that in.
Look at that. Oh, man.
That's all you need.
Oh, that meat is so tender.
That's what you want.
It is really good, actually.
Outstanding. What do you reckon, boys?
Yeah, it's all right.
It's a redemption meal if I've seen one.
I can taste that chili, funnily enough.
Velvet in the steak, making it tender as, and you can taste it, you know what I mean? You got yourself proper Mexican feed.
Unreal.
Right, I'm going to get the winch out, mate. Let's take me to camp.
Yeah, let's sit by the fire and finish these, eh?
In the words of
He's running on, that's for sure.
How you going, guys? Hope you're enjoying this episode. I've got to be honest with you, it's one of my favourite episodes of all time. We send off Sooty in absolute style, and just like in Sooty fashion, that car does not do things by halves. Anyway, just wanted to interrupt for just 2 seconds to let you know about an awesome competition we've got. We need to listen up because you could win yourself a Talkit exhaust. If you haven't half told already by this far in the show, the big 200 is on song. It sounds awesome. So does Timbo's 79, and you can win the same exhaust. All you need to do in the comments below is let us know what vehicle you drive and your favourite memory of Sooty. I'll be going through all of the comments and pick out the best one, and you'll win a brand new Talkit exhaust for your rig. So your make and model of your vehicle and also your favourite memory of Sooty. Good luck. It's a gorgeous morning up here on the farm. Today we've got an epic track lined up to close up the trip. But today is a little bit bittersweet because it's going to be Sooty's final hurrah.
Well, I thought I'd get up a little bit early and have a little brew with Sooty this morning. You know, you've heard me say that I've got another build on the way, which is going to be Sooty Mark II, and you're probably wondering, why is this old girl retiring? It's done over 100 hard shows. I mean, this car has been around the country quite a few times, done some of the hardest tracks in Australia, and it keeps on going. It just never ceases to amaze me, this old rig. But there's a couple of things you probably can't see. All the body mounts getting to the point where there's not a lot of metal left. There's lots of cracks in the body. It's starting to fall apart just from metal fatigue and a lot of years of abuse. And it's just time to really give this old girl a bit of a freshen up to make sure it's safe to keep driving me around this country. But sort of gets me a little bit sad as well, because this car, I mean, it's probably got the most personality out of any vehicle I've ever owned. I've got a real strong attachment with old Soot, and you guys too. I know you guys love old Soot as well. The good thing is the new build of Sooty is going to be exactly the same. I'm just basically getting a new chassis and a new body. The heart and soul is going to go straight into, with a bit of a rebuild, a bit of a freshen up, it's going to go into the new build. The dash, the wiring loom, all of the mods are basically going straight onto the next build. So it's not over for this vehicle, and I can't wait to show you guys the new build. We'll film the whole thing for YouTube as well so you can see it. But for now, I'll sit back, finish a brew, get it packed up, and get ready to hit the last tracks for old Sooty.
Before we hit the tracks today, we've got a few mechanical issues to get sorted, and Timbo's soon back on the tools again.
So just another day in the life of a 79 owner. I am changing the second alternator for this week, which is very fun, but at least I never seized all the nuts and bolts last time, so it's coming out reasonably quick. We'll get that out, get the new one in, and we'll be on the way.
With the alternator in, it's time to make a move and get ready for another ripper of a track, Blackgate Road. This one is an absolute classic, and it's going to provide a pretty challenging last day for the trip. Alright. Blackgate Road is located up on the hills behind Bulahdelah, a hop, skip and a jump from our campsite. This part of the world is known for some pretty tough wheeling, but the drive in is pretty specky.
Hey Tim, you got a copy, mate?
Yeah, buddy, what's up?
I noticed when I was putting the treads back on the roof that the way they're bolted to the roof rack itself looks real similar to the internal frame you got in the canopy. I was actually wondering, did it follow the same design principle? How have you worked that out?
Yeah, mate, so the roof rack strut is one we've had milled up. It's our own extrusion, and we've made it so that it bolts in with channel nuts, much like we do within the canopies. It's a nice wide plank, and you can mount awnings, solar panels, the tread mounts that you got on there at the moment, and rooftop tents, gas bottles, and a lot of other roof rack manufacturers' accessories fit on there as well. It's all modular, and that's the beauty of it. All of our external and internal accessories are just bolt in, bolt out.
That's sick. It's really thinking outside the square, hey, because not only obviously you can use a roof rack as a roof rack, but just make it easy to mount accessories for trips depending on what you're doing. It takes it to the next level, I reckon.
We're soon getting close to the start of the track, but suddenly, Sooty's decided that enough is enough.
To be big enough where you're legally allowed to fire it, Hold up, guys, hold up. We've lost Sean.
I was just driving down the road here. I told the boys to wheel up, and something I thought my wheel had fallen off. Like, that's how it sort of fell without dropping down. It was like something has come to a complete, I thought a bit of suspension had fallen out, something like that. But I think under a bit of a close examination, it might be a bearing. It's good it happened here and not on the highway.
Yeah.
Is the other one still? Is the other wheel?
Oh, I found it. Is it panhard?
Is it? Yeah.
It's stripped.
It's not a wheel bearing. My maintenance is a little bit better than that.
A busted panhard could spell the end for me on this trip, unless we can find a way to get a replacement or do a temporary bush fix.
I don't have any spares, but I'm going to try and basically take one side of the panhard off so I can see if the thread is completely buggered. Maybe there's some thread left on it. I can, give myself some poor wheel alignment, bring it in closer, and just get the sort of limp out of the bush. At this stage, it's not looking great because I know it's probably happened. It's probably just stripped all that thread in there.
Using Tony's cell booster, Robo get a phone call into a part shop down the coast in Newcastle, where we've been lucky enough to source a new panhard rod. Jocks offered to put the post he had on and go and collect it, while we get on with taking out the old one. few hours later, we've got the new part in hand, and Sooty once again defies the odds and lives to fight another day.
At long last, we're lining up for the start of the track, and the mud has come up to meet us. After a bit of rain, Blackgate Road can get pretty wild, and New South Wales has seen a long, wet summer that's brewed up some pretty challenging driving conditions.
Jocko, there's a lot of water on these tracks, mate.
Yeah, it looks pretty boggy. I'm keen to see how old Soot goes now. I know she loves a bit of mud, but I think you might have to give it a bit, mate.
That's the plan. Second, low and go, go, go. Oh, I had to give that a bit. You want to get into that one, boys.
All right, come on, Big D-Max. Let's see what you got, mate. Come on. There we go. Yeah, Rick. Oh, D-Max loves it, boys. You're going to have fun through there.
Yes. Alright, let's get into this big muddy mess.
Tracks like these don't get any easier with each vehicle, and Tony's giving it the berries in the 80 to make it through.
This thing is off its head. Mate, what a drive, what a drive. I'm absolutely in love with this rig, mate. I'll tell you what, it's just like Sooty, except Sooty's probably a little bit cleaner than this one, I don't know.
Oh, I reckon it might be. And I'll tell you a little secret, mate. The inspiration to build this was when I first saw Soot.
Oh, true, true.
I think on some of these tracks, maybe.
Well, this is like a Sooty on steroids. It's got everything. I mean, the bar work on this, tell us about this rig, because you've got some custom bar work, you've got a whole stack of stuff going on, full touring setup, but also can drive tough tracks.
It's a touring rig that got a little bit out of hand. Let's just say that. So she's twin locked 35s, and obviously we've got the full bar work to try and keep the panels straight.
Yep,
And
big
mate,
winch up front, you've got the roof rack, even on the ladder. That's all the little things I've noticed, even when you've been camping out of this thing, you've got all the drawers, you've got the fridge. It's just set up really comfortable.
Yeah, mate.
Yet you've got all the tough gear to make it work well off-road.
Yeah, well, we like camping in places where other people can't get to. So, yeah, we don't like getting stuck, and me and the missus usually camp by ourselves, and we often wheel by ourselves, so we've got to make sure we can be self-sufficient and recover ourselves.
That's the name of the game, I reckon. Yeah, you're running two aerials up front. One's obviously UHF.
Yep.
What's the second one?
That's for a cellular booster. So I've got a Cellfire Go repeater in the car. So if you've got a little bit of patchy reception, that'll boost the signal up, and obviously having a high quality antenna will make all the difference.
Absolutely.
We've also got another little sneaky antenna up on the roof rack there that you might not have seen.
I didn't even notice that.
And that's for our second UHF. So we run one on our working channel with the convoy, and then we've got another one that scans.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you what, she's one heck of a rig, mate. I like the way you've set this up. It's given me some ideas for my Sooty Mark II build, mate. I
Can't wait to see it.
I just like how you've kept everything so neat on this vehicle. You take a lot of pride on it, and I love that about that.
Thanks,
I reckon we get stuck into this track, and you're going to love it. Have you done this one before?
I have not.
Oh, you're in for a good time, mate.
It seems like not a lot of vehicles have been up this way recently, and up ahead is a tree across the track. It's always a smart idea to travel with a chainsaw if you can, and pro tip, when you cut some timber like this, try and cut it as wide as possible to help out any larger vehicles that might have to get through later.
How good is this place? I mean, there's beautiful little creeks right through here. It's just unexplored sort of territory. It looks like not a heap of people come down here. A bit of a hidden hotspot, if you ask me. I haven't been down to this neck of the woods in a long time. Still as beautiful as I ever remember it. Just great. There's so many fire trails through here, so many four-wheel drive tracks. You could spend literally days exploring them all.
The mud so far has just been a tiny taster of what's ahead, and not far up is a bog hole that looks pretty darn hectic.
Well, the slippery clay hill climbs have well and truly started. Big Soot's up now, and something tells me Sean is going to need to give it everything she's got to smash it up this hill. Let's see how he goes, mate. Righto.
Go.
Big Soot. Straight through, baby. Almost. Bit more pud. You driven a manual before there, champion?
Come on, Soot. I know you got it in ya. We can do this.
Hey, Sooty, baby! What a rig!
Yeah, good.
Just need to get a bit of wheel speed.
Hey, go, Sooty!
Righto, Jocko. Best of luck, mate. All I can say is give it plenty.
Mate, that's the plan. Don't know how I'll go on these little tyres. I'm going to give it a red hot crack anyway, eh? Let's go.
That's it.
So close.
Maybe one more for good luck. I hardly did any convincing. That was in reverse before I finished my sentence.
Yeah, one more, no more. Have a go.
I think you're just getting hung on the rear diff just as you're about to go into the clear.
Yeah, right at the crest, I can feel it just dragging the rear diff. Oh, I don't know if I'll get through this. Smidge more clearance, I'll probably have it.
That was a pretty epic effort from Jocko, but like a lot of blokes his age, he's going to need a quick tug to get him out of trouble.
Oh, I can feel the rear diff just dragging on the ruts. That's a shame. A little bit more clearance, I reckon I'd have that one. But proper good go in the D-Max, I reckon I got further than I thought.
Pete's up next, so I reckon he's going to be ringing that 3 litre as hard as he possibly can. I'm actually going to be looking for the foot coming through the floor pan, just to make sure. He's going to give it a go. He'll need to as well. You need a lot of momentum to get through there.
Yep. You can usually rely on Pete putting in a good drive, but this one's about as smooth as they come.
Lightweight, big tyres, and throttle when you need it. Well, mate, you're up next.
Yeah.
This is gonna be exciting.
If you don't get as far as the D-Max, you owe me a carton of beer.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I got to there.
Ooh. Here we go.
Here we go, dude. There was the gear change. Yeah! So
Just
close.
getting hung up, eh? Yeah.
That's violent.
Come back and have a real go.
Yeah, nah, that's about it, boys. Oh, no! I don't know.
That's a carton of beer to me, mate. Yeah, buddy!
I knew he was coming for that.
Well, I think I had that one in the bag because the secret little ace in the hole was his rear spring hangers just getting hung up a little bit lower than where the D-Maxes were. They don't have much clearance on the back, which means case of beer to me. That was an easy win.
Righto, mate. You're up next. I reckon you'll eat this. You've been driving so well on these tracks, mate. I think the big 200, you know what to do with it.
Yeah, mate, if anything can get through, I think she'll be able to. I'm just going to give it the full berries and see how she goes.
Ooh, here comes a big talker 200. He's not holding back.
Isaac's come in with plenty of gusto. In fact, maybe a bit too much.
Whoa!
Two beads at the same time.
Still on, are they?
Yeah, they're still on. Hold up.
What do we got?
You got a tyre that come off the wheel there.
That's no fun.
Losing a tyre off the bead sucks when you're deep in the mud. And the best strategy here is to try and get Isaac up to some drier ground so he can take a proper look.
To reseat the bead, you're going to need to be able to get a clean seal, and that means first cleaning out as much mud as possible from the rim.
Hang on, look at explosions, boys. Oh, just the suspense kills me. There you go.
3, 2, 1.
And just like that, Isaac's back in the game. Once he gets off the tracks, he's going to want to go and get that rim cleaned properly, but for now, the 200 is on the move.
Righto, I can't wait. Tony's going to come up in the big 80. It already sounds good and he hasn't even got into it.
All right, this is a big, dirty bog hole here.
Tony, mate, what an incredible drive.
He did that easier than Soot.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
There was a wheel in the air
Yeah.
as mud was coming.
See you, mate.
He's in a rush. Wow. That was vigorous.
A little bit spicy, just a little bit spicy.
Jocko, we've got the old Borneo rainforest stage through here, mate. It starts to close in. It looks pretty muddy too.
Yeah, I can see an orangutan up there. Oh, wait, no, we're not in Borneo, that's cute. Yeah, it looks pretty fun, mate.
Sooty might have spat the dummy earlier today, but man, I love driving this rig. This might be her final track, but we're doing it in style.
Whoa, whoa.
With the mud out of the way, we're onto some more technical wheeling up the track.
Whoa! With that, our last track of the trip is done and dusted, and old Soot has made it through by the skin of its teeth. Now, Sooty's first adventure 5 years ago was a bush to beach run from Bulahdelah to the coast, and I reckon a wheel on the sand would be the perfect way to send her off. For that, we're heading down the way to Tea Gardens, and one last drive for this weapon of a vehicle.
How good's this? The boys are all lined up.
Hey. Big Soot.
Well, Jocko, I've got to be completely honest with you, mate. There was a couple of times maybe on this trip that I thought Sooty would be going home on a tow truck. Oh. And the fact that she's here right now, mate, and, you know, it's in good enough health for Sooty standards. I'll tell you what, it's a very, very special four-wheel drive, guys. I'm so attached as you can't half tell. I know you guys are as well. This four-wheel drive is a lot more than just a vehicle to me. This is, well, it's its own little personality. I love 100%. Sooty, and it's taken me to some amazing places over the years. It's got over 500,000 kilometres on it. It has been through hell and back so many times it's not funny. The punishment that this car has received, but the one thing is just about every single trip, she's always got me home again. You know, it's kind of sad that it's going to hang up its tyres pretty soon.
But it's not the end, it's not the end.
It's not the end for
End
Sooty.
of Sooty Mark 1, and I think that, you know, the places you've taken it, if Sooty's soul carries over to the new build that you're about to start, I reckon she'll be a force to be reckoned with, mate. So
well,
it's not out of the woods yet.
Well, mate, thank you for such a wicked trip. I was stoked
unreal.
that you could be there. I wish Graham
100%.
could have been here for this one as well.
He would have loved it.
And to do it with a bunch of mates like these guys,
Unreal.
I mean, we have not stopped laughing this whole... We've been winching into 1 o'clock in the morning. We've had probably averaged about 4 hours sleep every single night. I've got so many fantastic memories of this rig. I mean, literally hundreds of great memories. I can't pick my favourite, but I want to put it out to you guys. Let us know your favourite Sooty memory. I want to go through the comments, mate, and read all those ones.
Yeah,
I reckon
it'll probably
that'll
jog your memory as well.
Absolutely it will. Now, I think, mate, the tyres are aired down. A couple of cold ones in the fridge.
Oh, stop it.
You think what I'm thinking?
Yeah, mate. Perfect way to send Sooty off.
I think so, mate. Anyway, guys, we'll see you around next time.
Don't go anywhere, folks, because coming up, is the four-wheel drive 24/7 outtakes. G'day legends, I thought I'd give you a quick walk around on the 80 series here, old Sooty the 80, because I've been doing a fair bit of work on this old girl.
Heaps of power, and it's just an absolute pleasure to drive. So smooth.
She always runs a bit rough before a coffee in the morning, a bit like me really. Sooty's a bit scared of doing this track, I think. I might need a little push.
Go, 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 go! Oh, get your foot off the brake!
I don't have it on the brake.
But I love you so much, Sooty.
Yeah. This is the most amazing four-wheel drive experience I've ever probably had.
Oh!
That's my brakes.
Yeah, you got brakes?
I don't need to use. Whoa,
Yeah.
that's steep.
In he goes!
That's really steep.
Wowzers! Wowzers! Wowzers!
I can't believe that. Just drove that. Little soot. Getting the job done. Far out, Sooty. Won't be like this.
Come on, old girl. Look out! Yes!
Oh, Sooty, I love you. Ah. I think you'll nail this. I'm quietly confident. Oh, that's a bit of grass. It's okay, it's okay. It's okay. Just a false alarm. You got to be on edge though. Oh, high pitch, but not deep. Yeah, I know. You got to go the palm.
Palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already.
Just practicing a couple of moves. You got to be nimble on those hills. What we need to do, get some. I want to serve the boys up.
Sorry, Josh, this is yours, mate. I made it all.
The meat is quite thin. How do you say? How do you say that? You'd know about that.
Do not feel it.
Don't encourage it.
Do not encourage me.
Go away.
No, I will hang around you like a bad smell.
Anyway, guys, we'll see y'all. Oh, what happened then?
We'll see y'all.
We're actually looking for another presenter on four-wheel drive 24/7. So if you would fit the bill and not be as weird as this bloke, then you probably got the job. Simple as that.
All you need to do is put your pants on in the morning. You'll be better than me because Sean does that for me.
Go away! You the cream and the guap.
Sun is.
All right, Pete, mate, take it away. Just rolling.
Hey,
Roger, buddy.
Oh, I have a double trouble for that, White. That's all right.
I don't know. Yeah, true. I don't know.